With the old school RuneScape team announcing the release date for Trailblazer League being the 28th of October, it's time to start getting prepared. Alongside this news, we were given the official list of zones, including how many we'll be able to unlock. Let's start off with the basics. Every player will start off in Misthalin and unlock additional zones and areas by completing a fixed number of tasks, not points. Karamja is a free unlock without requiring any more tasks to be completed. After Karamja, players will be able to unlock 3 more areas out of the remaining 7. Zaya will not be accessible at all within this league. Reddit user Man-Made Magic put together this amazing graphic that has been shown off on the official OSRS Twitch livestream. So, we have that here and the updated version we can take a look at. Let's start out with Misthalin, since we're all going to have access to it. First off, fairy rings are going to be available, which will not only give you transportation around the map, but will get access to the Abyssal Sire. So there you'll be able to get your Abyssal Whip, Dagger or Bludgeon. As we also get access to Fossil Island, this means Wyverns and Archaeologists, which could be a great way to get a rune crossbow early on. Depending if you complete Dragon Slayer 2, you'll also get access to Visages and Dragon Crossbows. Moving on to Karamja, which we're all going to unlock for free, the main unlocks from here will be Karamwans as a food source, Brimhaven Dungeon, and the entire Tazar area. Players will be able to get their fire capes, and given how last league's relics were, this should be much easier than normal. There's also the Obsidian gear and armor, and for those that want to attempt it, the Infernal Cape. So now that we're talking about areas that players will have to pick from, I'm going to start with the area I personally plan on unlocking no matter what. Asgarnia unlocks what I believe to be the most amount of content out of all the other possible choices. Starting off with the most potential, Asgarnia is going to unlock God Wars dungeons. While this might get a bit messy with all players being Ironmans and the potential crashing, the amount of PvM gear available as drops, such as the ACB, God Swords, the Zamorak Spear, and all the armor, makes this a huge contender in what zones to pick. For those that may not be up for God Wars, Asgarnia also includes Pest Control, which means the base Void Robes and Helms. Also, for those that grind out Slayer, you'll get access to Cerberus, which means the crystals to upgrade boots if you manage to get any. Lastly, Asgarnia also has the Max Cape, and because I plan on maxing while streaming, I'll be going for this zone purely to get myself the Max Cape. That makes Asgarnia a guaranteed pick for me. So next in line, as a zone I'm still considering, is Kandarin. Kandarin itself is a huge zone in this league, and unlocks a large amount of Gilnor if unlocked. As for the item unlocks, we get access to the Kraken Cave with high enough Slayer, which means you'll be able to get Tentacle Whips and Tridents. Players can also do Nightmare Zone to get any imbues for other gears they've managed to obtain, such as the Fremnik or Wilderness Rings. Another key item from Kandarin is access to both the Monkey Madness rewards, including the Dragon Scimitar and Zenites after Monkey Madness 2. Additionally, players will be able to complete Barbarian Assault, so that means Fighter Torsos, or any other gear or rewards such as the High Gambles. The other zone I'm personally planning to unlock at the moment is the Fremnik Zone. The Fremnik Zone is going to mean access to Kaldagrim, the Fremnik Quest, including their rewards, and the Lunar Spellbook. Dagannoth Kings will also be accessible for their ring drops. Access to Volkov will also be huge for players, as the drop table is absolutely amazing for Iron Man. Anyone planning to do skilling grinds will find this drop table extremely useful. Access to Kaldagrim will also mean players will be able to get a great player-owned house, as that's a player's only access to marble and gold leaves for the more expensive items inside the PH. Now that I've discussed the zones I plan on unlocking, I'll start working through the others. Next up, we've got the Desert Zone. Even though the only player versus player experience will be safe deaths within the wilderness, one of the biggest unlocks from the Desert Zone is the Ancient Spellbook. Other than Ancients, Mage Training Arena is probably the other huge unlock in this zone for those that want bonus to Peaches, Infinity Robes, or the Master Wand and Mage Book. Additionally, any players who plan on using a blowpipe from Zulrah will need to unlock the Desert Zone and complete Tourist Trap to have access to darts. For those extremely interested in Slayer and raids, we have Mauritania. Probably the most iconic items from this zone will all be the Barrows rewards. While they're not the most powerful gear available in the game, getting a set of Carrols or Arms would be a great boost to gear. The main focus of this zone though seems to be Slayer, with access to the Slayer Tower, and the Black Mask. Without this zone you have no other way of getting a Slayer helmet either. Moving further into a bit harder PvM challenges, we have the Nightmare of Ashihama. It's a huge grind, but it could mean Inquisitor armor, or the Nightmare stuff, and if you're really lucky, an orb to go with it. Lastly, we have the league's hardest PvM challenge, the Theatre of Blood. For players that can find a reliable team, this unlocks a huge amount of high-end rewards, with the Scythe, Staff, and Rapier all being extremely powerful weapons. Nearing the end, we have Tiranwyn. Apart from having a name which I've probably slaughtered trying to pronounce, this is the home of 2 key unlocks, Zulrah and Prifddinas. Zulrah's uniques include the Toxic Blowpipe, the Serpentine Helm, and the Magic Fang. which can upgrade either a Staff of the Dead or Trident of the Seas. Zulrah's non-unique drops are also great for players who plan on leveling up their skills as well, just not quite as good as Warcraft's. Inside Prifddinas, we get access to all sorts of crystal weaponry, armor, and tools. The Gauntlet and Zelkano will be two PvM challenges worth doing if you end up unlocking Tyrannwyn, as they drop some supplies and the seeds that you can use to convert into crystal tools and armor. Lastly, we have the Wilderness. While it's a safe death, you can still be killed by players here, so it's not like there is no risk adventuring inside this zone. Players will have access to the Revenant Caves, which mean the Revenant weapons, such as the Crossbow, the Wilderness Demi-Bosses for their rings, and the Dragon Pickaxe, and both the Major Arena quests. Corporal Beast is also located inside the Wilderness for those feeling lucky enough. The main attraction of the Wilderness, I think, will be the Rev Cave for resources and the Major Arena Capes, with the Demi-Bosses just being a little bonus. Players will also get access to the Altar, which offers a 50% chance not to consume a bone when offering, which will make pre-training a little easier and cheaper. Last Man Standing will not be included within Trailblazer League, so don't pick the Wilderness hoping to get those rewards. And that wraps up the information on Trailblazer Zones. If you found any of this useful, please do feel free to leave a like on the video, or if you're interested in more Trailblazer content, remember to subscribe to the channel, as I plan on uploading more about the league and streaming myself getting to max total level. And if you've made it this far, leave a comment about what zones you plan to pick and why. I'd love to read them. Thanks again for watching and have a sick one.